Good morning, and thank you for calling the Quality Control Process WebEx. The purpose of this webinar today is to review what is needed in order to roll out the new Aramark Quality Control tool from GoSpotCheck at each of your accounts. Our outcomes for today are to review why Aramark is looking at a QC program for its facilities business across the enterprise. We will review what the time commitments are that we're asking for you to collect the required data to get your sites built in the new tool. We will go over step by step of how you will input that data in what we call the account inventory template. An important part of correctly populating this template is to review the naming properties that will be given to your buildings and floors at your site. After that, we will review what will happen once you submit the template and discuss what the space inventory audit process will include. Lastly, we will touch on the required training for you and your inspectors, as well as when the activation of each of your accounts will take place. To understand why Aramark is looking to implement a system-wide QC program, we must first realize that currently there is no consistency across our various facility accounts with how we measure quality. Some use paper, TMA, ISIS Pro, or nothing at all. There is no consistent reporting method for our clients either, and existing QC tools are not simple to use and operate. Aramark's new facilities quality assurance process is designed to be comprehensive, easy to manage, and technologically advanced. This new process forms the foundation of our repeatable model focused on continuous improvement and operational excellence throughout our 800 facility accounts. An Aramark quality control inspector must have the ability to do three important things. First, they must understand the contracted scope of work for the space they are inspecting. Second, they need to know how our training programs integrate with the service standards being applied to the account. And lastly, our Aramark inspectors must inspect our areas with enough frequency to establish how our service levels are trending in that space. So the purpose of an enterprise-wide QC tool would have a number of obvious benefits. To accomplish this, Aramark's solution was to partner with a company called GoSpotCheck to build a highly flexible and robust mobile reporting platform with customized dashboards that allow for dynamic reporting as well as integration with other systems. The tool is an app based on either an Apple or an Android application on a smart device, constructed for users to complete inspections on the fly, and technology allows for 3 pictures, comments, real-time data upload, and geotagging. In addition to the tool is a suite of reports that aggregates the inspection data and enables managers to act on the results of the quality control tool. These reports basically tell a story about how the account is performing over a period of time. Because each potential deficiency ties directly into our QL training programs, these reports also help the manager with direction on training and development, project work, corrective action, and recognition opportunities. The time needed to build an account-specific QC tool has varied by the amount of buildings located at each profit center. More buildings will take longer to set up. To give a general estimate, most sites that are currently using GoSpotCheck will take 1 to 3 hours to complete the data collection and site profile setup. The new QC application is based around your account's space types and service information. In order to capture and build your site's profile in GoSpotCheck, you will need to fill out the account inventory template. As such, the profile setup in GoSpotCheck will only be as good as the information that you input into the account inventory template. The account inventory template has 4 tabs that need account-specific data populated in each tab. Each tab has a linked instructional tab to help guide you through entering in your site's data. If your site is using TMA, there are separate included instructions on how to enter it on the spreadsheet. Transition at the end of this slide to let's walk through how we complete the user tabs. On the user tab, you will first start off by entering all users' information that will need access to GoSpotCheck Quality Control tool. Enter the username and information. That's columns A through D on the Excel file. With regards to column A, use existing Aramark email or the client email addresses. If the user does not have an Aramark or client-based email address, use the following method for filling this out. The formula is firstname.lastname@invalid.com. The user information entered here will also be the username to log into GoSpotCheck. Please keep this info as a record for activation. Please note that any correspondence will need to be made to the site manager supervisor that has an error mark or client email address and will not work with the invalid email address. Again, keep all inspector usernames, even invalid ones, for future activation and login purposes. The user role, column E, select user if they only need the mobile app to perform mobile inspections. Select manager if they need the mobile app access and access to dashboard reporting, which is available through your computer. The site main contact admin, column F, this should be the person that will serve as the main contact for any communication updates between Aramark, GoSpotCheck, and the Profit Center. For example, this person would be notified once users are ready to be activated, updates of progress reports on building site profiles, submitted requests to add or remove users, and many other basic administrative actions. For most accounts, this should be the site manager or general manager. The user type column, column G, select inspector if the user regularly inspects cleaning schedules. Select manager or client if the user is not inspecting regularly or if the user is our client. The space inventory audit column, column H, select the person or persons that will receive the initial email notification or instructions to download the GoSpotCheck mobile app. After downloading the app, that person will then assign space types for each building at the site. Typically, a manager or assistant manager should perform this function. Area type examples include offices, corridors, restrooms, etc. We will also review this process later in the demo. Select the service type, column I. From the drop-down, select the type of service that the user performs. If it is a manager and they are in charge of multiple services, in the next row, duplicate the username with the alternate service type in column I. The Profit Center View column, column J. Enter in applicable Profit Center numbers that the user should view for mobile inspections and reporting. Usually, site managers are users that have more than one number listed in this category. Keep in mind, due to Excel logic, you will have to place an apostrophe first before you enter any number that starts with a 0. The Profit Center Charge column, column K. Enter which profit center the user license fee is to be billed to. Duplicate user rows only need to enter this field one time. The mobile device column, column L. Select which option pertains to the user. Aramark issued smart device, an iPhone, iPad, or an Android, or no device. Aramark prohibits the use of personal devices to complete work activity. If there are no devices available for the user, please make sure they are in place prior to user training dates. By selecting no hardware in this column does not mean one will automatically be ordered for you. Steps to acquire compatible devices are located at aramark.net via the Facilities COE website. Tab 2, the building locations. Tab 2 of the worksheet, you will now fill out the building information that is at your site. Please only include buildings where Aramark provides contracted services that need quality inspections. For those accounts without TMA, start with location building ID, column A. Choose a 4-digit alphanumeric number that identifies the building, followed by a hyphen, then profit center number. For example, sales building at Sears is SB-0000000565, or Boeing HQ uses only the B before following the profit center number. Use whatever combination of the first 4 alphanumeric combinations that make the most sense for your site. The profit center number, however, cannot deviate. For location building name, column B, use the name of the building, hyphen, the last 4 digits of the profit center number. Example, the name of the building is Boeing HQ and the profit center is 1104-25200. The name entered in column B is Boeing HQ-5200. For accounts with TMA, they will be utilizing the globally unique building name and ID within TMA to enter into this field. Instructions for getting the data out of TMA will be shown in a few minutes. In the address column, C through G, enter the address for each building. If the site has the same address for multiple buildings, use GPS coordinates. We will review how to enter GPS coordinates in a few minutes. In columns H and I, enter site name and corresponding profit center number. Enter the primary profit center number that corresponds with custodial services at this account. Columns J and K, if applicable, this is where you would utilize your GPS instructions. The longitude and latitude coordinates. On your computer, visit Google Maps at google.com/maps. Search for your account location. Right-click on one of the account buildings on the map. Select Where's Here. Coordinates will appear either in or below the search box. Use the listed coordinates as they appear in columns J and K. If you do not have two monitors, make sure you write the coordinates down on a piece of paper. One number in the wrong spot will result in future problems when you start doing inspections. Please double check this information as you enter it. For those using TMA, please follow these instructions to populate building info. First, log into TMA. Then select the Organization tab at the top of the page and scroll down to Building. Click on the building selection. In the Building module, scroll over until you see the blue Browse tab. Click on that tab. Use the drop-down query where it says Default and scroll to the top of the list to find 1 GSC Building Query. Click on this. Then go to Export at the bottom of the page. Click on an arrow and then click Export All Pages. This will start a download of a pre-populated Excel worksheet. Click Open the spreadsheet. Open the Excel sheet and then you can copy and paste the building ID and name information into columns A and B of the Building Location tab. Make sure it properly aligns up with the correct building information in columns C and D. Take time to verify the naming convention matches the buildings are called on site. Also double check that all buildings properly coincide with the building name and ID. Contact your TMA administrator if there are any discrepancies. Make sure that you remove any buildings that we do not clean. Only rooms we clean should be submitted. In tab 3, the Floor tab of the worksheet, you will now fill out the floor information corresponding to each building at your site. Please only include building floors where Aramark provides contracted services that need quality inspections. It's very important. First, start with location building name located in column D. Location building name, column D. The drop-down selection will have populated with the building name that was entered in the building tab, tab 2, column B. Select the site building. This will need to be done separately for each floor in the building, so copy and paste as necessary. In the location building ID column, column C, this column should auto-populate based on what building was selected. In the floor name column, column B, select the floor name. For example, floor 1, basement, attic, mezzanine. Note, area types such as suites, concourses, and seating bowls should not be selected as they are already area types that are pre-populated in the QC system. The floor ID column, column A, entered as same 1 to 4 digit alphanumeric as corresponding building, followed by floor number. For example, sales building at Sears. First floor is SSB-FL001, or 108 Roth building roof is 108R-R001. For those that are using TMA, please follow these instructions to populate the floor info. Log into TMA. select the Organization tab and scroll down to Floor. Click on Floor Selection. In the Floor module, scroll over until you see the blue Browse tab. Click on that tab. Use the drop-down query where it says Default and scroll to the top of the list to find one GSC Floor query. Click on this. Then go to Export at the bottom of the page. Click Export All Pages. This will start a download of a pre-populated Excel worksheet. Open the Excel file and then copy and paste the floor ID and name information into columns A and B of the Floor Location tab. Make sure it properly lines up with the correct building information in columns C and D. Take time to verify the naming convention matches what the floors are called on site. Also, double-check that all floors properly coincide with the building name and ID. Contact your TMA administrator if there are any discrepancies. On tab 4, the Service PC tab, please select which profit centers align with the appropriate service type. This information can also be found on site if needed. Column ID, column A, this is the profit center number. By row, enter all components at the account. Service type, column B, list corresponding service types for each component number. Duplicate component number for each service type associated with that number. Once GoSpotCheck inputs the AIT, Account Inventory template, each specific site contact from the User tab will receive an email with links on ordering hardware, downloading the GoSpotCheck app, and instructions on completing the space inventory audit. At the completion of today's WebEx, we require that you will complete and submit the AIT as well as sign up your inspectors for training. The AIT can be submitted as soon as it is completed so that you receive the Space Inventory Audit app right away. Once the AIT is submitted and approved, you'll receive the email invite to download the Space Inventory Audit app so you can complete assigning your area types to your buildings. Once you get the Space Inventory Audit download, please complete it immediately. Here we list the steps in order to complete the deployment and rollout of the process. Currently, we are in step 3 of complete the account inventory template and submit. Only a few more steps and you're ready to go. Thank you for your time today, and if you have any questions, feel free to email facilitiescoe@aramark.com.